So I wanted to really quickly share my thoughts on Sentenced to be a Hero, the prison records of Penal Hero Unit 9004. I might have gotten that title wrong. That's a very long title. But it's a new anime show that just debuted with its first episode that is an hour long. And I got a little bit curious because a lot of people were I've heard a lot of really good things about it. And so checked out the first episode. It's actually quite a good first episode for a TV show like this. What it does very well, I would say, I just want to really quickly share my thoughts out here. What it does really well is that it really does, it feels like sort of just this big, gigantic in series in scale just based on the first episode. And I think if you're going to do an anime show like this, where in the first episode you're supposed to introduce all the characters, have the setup and everything, if you're going to do something like that, I think this is actually one of the best ways to do that, especially with an anime like this, where what it does is that it gives you the backstory, it gives you the lore, there's narration, there's reading at the beginning, but it's like a very action-packed pilot episode of a television series, which was a very interesting approach that I thought absolutely worked in the context of this one, where it introduces our main character Xylo, who is a hero, but being a hero is like the worst punishment possible, and so he is sentenced to be a hero and endlessly fight these demons that keep getting resurrected, and even if he dies, he also gets resurrected, and so he's in this endless loop of suffering, sort of. And then he meets a goddess that changes up the dynamic, and you learn more about him and his relationship with goddesses near the end of the episode, along with these different factions that perceive of him differently and don't know whether to trust him or not. Provides so much backstory and so much action sequences at the same time, where it's all interwoven with these action sequences that are just so fluidly animated. They are so big and bombastic that it doesn't feel like the pilot episode of a TV show. And what it does so well is that it merges all that together with character backstories, exposition, action sequences in a way that I think actually works really nicely. The action is so it gets kind of crazy because it's so like kind of bombastic for a pilot episode of television. And so for me, I thought this was like, if you're going to do a pilot episode to an anime TV show about hunting demons, this is the way to do it, I would say, or one of the best ways you could possibly have done it, where it intertwines all this stuff together and it doesn't feel like an overstuffed, jumbled mess where it's trying to like speedrun everything. All of it's just interesting. And that's something that I found very interesting about this episode. Now, we're only one episode in, so I'm not going to go full on in-depth on everything. And we still have the rest of the show left to go. And so I don't know how many episodes this season is going to be. But what I can say is I actually did really enjoy the first episode of Sentenced to be a Hero. And I believe by the time this video comes out, the second episode will have dropped. And so, yeah, like, those are just, I really quickly wanted to share my thoughts on it. And yeah, those are my thoughts on the first episode of Sentenced to be a Hero. Down below in the comment section, share what you thought of it over on my channel. I have more content like this. Check those out right now. Thank you guys so much for sticking around to the end, and I'll see you in the next one.